honestly, I was preparing myself for the big times, even when I was a kid. Watching the Rocky films, and like, that used to just get me so excited. I was watching Rocky 4, I remember coming back with the soundtrack, I was so excited. That's what I used to do. I used to do big fights. I'd put a little orange as a gum shield. I would. So I was world champion. I was 9. I was like, yeah, come on, la 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 la.
Who were you fighting? Who were you fighting?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember.
Before you fought Lacey, what was your reputation like with the Americans? What did they think of you?
I'm not sure. It was frustrating for me. I was world champion for a long time, WBO champion. Like, I wanted a unification fight since I won the title. It took me 8 years to finally get a unification fight. And the thing is, this is the only fight, the Lacey fight, where I was actually the underdog. The one person that believed me more than anything was my dad. You know, and so he was saying this fight's going to make me, you know, and telling me that what I was going to do from the first round to 12th round. And he's exactly right. He called exactly as it would be, and I nearly pulled out the fight week before. And he probably know, I wouldn't say the words because of the language, what he said. Basically, I had to fight that fight. I'll be called the biggest effing chicken. What happened? Went into that fight and that put on a masterclass from the first round to the 12th round. Exactly as my dad said the fight was going to happen. My speed was going to just destroy him. And, you know, thanks, Dad.
They were calling him the super middleweight version of Mike Tyson. You've had somewhat of a run-in with the real Mike Tyson, is that right?
Mike's cool. I boxed a couple of times in his undercard. I remember with my dad, obviously my dad's 5'7", and he's quite small, and I was like, asked for a picture with Mike, and he was queuing up for him. I think he didn't realise, obviously he just come off a plane, he had loads of people bother him and hassle him, and I saw Mike, can I have a picture? And he was like, at the time he seemed quite rude, but I don't think he was just rude. I think he didn't really, obviously oblivious, and it was like to a lot of people ask for pictures, he's just there, and my dad's like, Mike, you gonna effing smile or you gonna smile or what? I'm like, Dad, it's Mike Tyson. Like, and he's like, it's not a tough day, man. It'll be a long day, man. It'll be a long day. But he was all right, and okay. And I thought, oh, you know, he's a bit rude, but nah, he was gonna go. I basically, a few hours later, we stayed at the Grove, and that's where we stayed. And he was gonna go. He was nice. He came and sat down when he was on his own, with his own space, and he had a good chat with him. And he was, you know, really nice, respectful. I managed to see Mike quite a few times since that. He's a lovely guy, man. My 2 American ones up here on the right. Butler Planet, Hopkins, the last fight then. Like I say, versus Roy Jones, Madison Square Garden. I felt like I've done it all. I've done everything I needed to achieve as a super middleweight, champion of the decade, win all the belts against the other major guy. There was nothing else to get up for me personally. And there were just 2 things missing. One of them was going to America, going to the States to fight, and also fighting a big mouth at the time called Bernard Hopkins, who was the Ring magazine title holder. I beat Kessler, got a ticket with a couple of mates. We bought a ticket, like right at the back, cheap tickets to the fight, to watch Ricky Hatton Mayweather. And I remember one of the girls, Coco from HBO, she's like, that's the reason I went as well to go bump into Hopkins. He was in the press room. And then that's what happened. Went to the press room, opened the bump into Hopkins, and he'd done something even better than that. I could see him approaching me the other side of the room, and when he came out and he said, you know, I'd never let a white boy beat me. I was like, great. People say, was I offended? No, I wasn't. It's like, to me, I was happy he said that, because that's, you know, social media wise, you know, there wasn't that much back like 11 years ago now, you know, to build a fight, but that was on YouTube, and before anything happened, that fight was made. As soon as he made that statement, I knew it'd be an easy fight to make, and you know, I was just excited and smiling from ear to ear when he said that, and we had a bit of banter back and forth, and then yeah, basically the fight was made.
How did you handle the circus around that?
I just loved it. I just, you know, what can I say? I was just 100% confident I would beat anybody. You know, I was the best super middleweight in the world, beating every fight I could beat. Obviously, unifying the titles, just come off a win against Mikko Kessler, who was the second best super middleweight in the world after I proved myself as the best. And it was just a natural. I spoke with Dad, it's like, you know, you need to go to America. It's like, when that happened, I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it all. The build up. I didn't stay in the Strip. Obviously, Planet Hollywood had got the fight. It was at the Thomas and Mack Center. And yeah, I stayed in, what can I say? Stayed in a villa about 6 miles outside. We went to a gym for the first few days, and it was quite a long commute. So what we did, just run around the block and just on pads in the garage.
Really?
That's it. Wow. Per week, pads. That's what I did.
So who's over there with you? Is there an entourage? It doesn't sound like it.
A big entourage. I got my dad, I got my uncle who was the cook. I couldn't eat too much food, and I had Nathan Cleverly who boxed on the undercard, and he was doing a little bit like sparring with me. So that was my entourage. I had a nice little, quite a tight-knit little entourage going on there, you know. So it was really funny when I fight somebody like Hopkins with like a big entourage around him, and like just me, myself, and I. Just remember there was like 2,000 people at the weigh-in. I expect him to try mind games. I just looked at him and laughed. So I'm gonna bust them up. I said, what the F does that mean to me, man? I said, you gotta bust them ribs up, and they, oh man, you're older than me, I'm gonna bust them up. And they started laughing, and he just took the walk back, and he walked away, he went, oh, I can't get under his skin. It was just like surreal, you know. You got like Tom Jones, Catherine Zeta-Jones, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously Sylvester Stallone was on my side. It's wicked, man. So seeing him there, and then you know what?
Sly was for you, was he?
Yeah, he was. He was. I remember when he was feigning a low blow and pretending he got hit low. He was looking for a break. He was tired, man. Hopkins was looking for rest after the 8th round, and it was frustrating because I was like jumping up and down, thinking. And I remember Sly like, come on, referee, what are you doing? And he's on my side. Well, at least he's cheering for me. And then it's mad, even like little things, like I got dropped in the first round, and Connor, my son, was only about maybe 9, 8 at the time. First time he'd been to a fight, so I was down on the floor. So you can imagine he started crying, and then there's this lady put her arm on his shoulder and said, don't worry, your dad's going to be okay, your dad's going to be okay. And that woman was Whitney Houston, which is crazy, isn't it? And after the fight, I got this lady, I said, that's Whitney Houston, she wants to autograph. But what I'm saying is it's surreal, though, you know, where I've come from, you know, boxing small halls, and actually finishing a career and fighting like in Vegas against one of the great American fighters with the people who were there and the stories I've got. It was just, it's amazing memories. And like I said, during the fight, I was chasing the fight. After 8 rounds, I felt I was in control. I was throwing more punches. You trying to spoil the fight. Of course, you know, you're fighting over there, so I was nervous. I'm fighting not at home, I'm fighting over in the States against an American fighter, so, and I'm the challenger. So of course, you know, you're going to be a bit worried because I'm used to like cruising to win fights, and I knew like he won a few rounds and it was quite close. I felt I edged the fight, but obviously he had successes. I went down first round, and early on, but I felt I controlled the fight, or was doing more the second half of the fight, you know. So yeah, when they said that split decision, you know, what can I say? I was just so happy when, and I knew. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Malley's turning on the style as well. Look at this, the showboating. And he's just trying to taunt Tony a bit. And he's caught him with a left. He's caught him with a left.
I spoke to Roy, we met, and to me, you know, I love fighting in America. No, he was happy to come meet the fight in the Millennium in Cardiff. But I always wanted to fight at Madison Square Garden, Mecca of boxing, and I thought to myself, I knew that was my last fight, and I thought, what a way to finish boxing, to fight where a lot of the greats have fought of all time, you know, and what can I say, you know, and it was easy to make the fight, and, you know, it was nice not just to go and beat one legend, but beat another legend in Roy Jones Jr., you know. Obviously, he's probably not, he wasn't a shot fighter, but he probably wasn't at his peak, but neither was I at my peak. I was 37 at the time, so yes, you know, it was a, you know, we made the fight. There's nothing like bad in the upbringing. I mean, in the build up to the fight, there was no slagging off, and it was a bit different sort of different energy to the Hopkins build up. Right. But still, it was great. And I remember in the afternoon going over to Madison Square Garden and looking around, and as they were putting the ring up and just doing a little shadow boxing. That's what I would do, just feeling the ropes, and it's quite surreal. Like, it's like, wow, I'm at Madison Square Garden, you know. After all I've achieved, the little holes I've been to, doctors telling me I would never box again, to be fighting one of the greatest fighters of all time, and me being top of the bill again in America at Madison Square Garden. I was really emotional. I remember in the afternoon, like looking around, thinking, I felt like I started to fill up a bit, because I knew this was the end, because of, you know, I had enough, and my body had enough. I couldn't spar anymore. You know, it was a miracle in a way that I was able to fight for so long, and that stage of my career is like, that's it now.
2 days earlier, Barack Obama became president of the United States. Was that something that you picked up on at all when you were over there?
Not really. It doesn't mean anything to me. You know, it's a fight. It's a boxing fight. So whatever goes outside the ring or whatever mindset people have, I'm not concerned. Because I'm just 100% focused on what I need to do in the ring. So whatever happens, who's this, who's that, don't matter. Don't matter. So whether Obama's there or not, or he's not, is great. Congratulations, you know, but you're going to lose. I remember during the fight, okay, the first round, what can they say? I got dropped again. This time it hurt with the forearm. I went down. That's like the second time now in America. I've gone the 4 first rounds. So I'm giving you a head start. But then, what can I say? Second round onwards, I just fought a beautiful fight. I think, I just fought a beautiful fight. My timing was great. My speed was there. My movement, and I was probably doing the Roy Jones, but Roy Jones did to a lot of people over the years. And yeah, I fought with a smile on my face. You know, I was happy to do the 12 rounds. I remember, it was unbelievable. I remember like after 8 rounds, looking around thinking 4 more rounds, and that's it. Of all the thousands of rounds I did, I was like counting them down in my head. Last round, I was like, Joe, look around, man, this is the last round. Yeah, it was beautiful, you know. And for my boys to be in my family to be there, and obviously for my dad to be in the corner. You know, it was like, we done it, wow. You know, we done it. We've you know, won all the titles, become a 2-weight world champion, two-weight linear ring magazine champion, and go to America and win twice against 2 greats. So to me, that was a perfect ending. Yeah, feel blessed, privileged to be able to have these memories and do these big fights. Such a massive deal that I went to the States. I think there's always going to be doubters there that you never come over to America, you know? Okay, you beat those, but you haven't come to the States. So I agree with that. And I wanted to go to America and fight. I wanted to go to the States. So I went there not just once, but twice to be two of their greatest, and fought 2 good fights out there. And I think I showed balls. I always try to give my best. I just want fans, like people say, how do you want to be remembered? But listen, I always fought the best I could fight at the time. And also, I always fought my heart out. I always tried to entertain, sometimes too much. I always tried to entertain and give the fans what they want to see, you know? And now, you know, what can I say? You know, being inducted in the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2014, first ballot, with Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. Wow, 2 amazing greats. I think, to me, that shows the respect I have, but the boxing writers voted me in there on the first ballot. So would I be in there if I didn't go to America? Possibly not yet, but yeah, I think I'm satisfied. I think I have a lot of respect of the fighters there, and also of the public and the journalists. I'm going to America, going to the States and fighting, but not just once, but twice. And like you said again, winning. Winning is the key. Got the balls to go there, man, but winning.
There was a sense looking at you when you were doing all this that you just belonged here. This is where you're supposed to be, huh?
I know it sounds like a cliche and a bit corny, but it's my destiny. My destiny. Yeah, man, it's my destiny. What can I say? You know, I mean, Dad, wow, it's our destiny, so.